Hello everybody, my name is Giovanni, welcome to my anime reviews. Just so you guys know, English is not my first language, so I apologize if I do not understand some of the jokes or cultural things going on in these animes. Today we are going to look at an anime called Hunter x Hunter, or Hunter x Hunter, I'm not sure how you say it. This is my review of Hunter x Hunter as I understand it. But it's a pretty good anime, so let's begin. Hunter x Hunter is about a boy named Gon who makes a deal with a mass murderer to never set foot on the ground again. At least that is the anime in a nutshell. But let's start at the beginning. The main character, Gon, is a kid who grew up with a mega-rich father. And when I say mega-rich, I mean this kid has castles and servants and entire cities dedicated to him. I'm not even joking, they literally throw a fireworks festival for him every single night. Honestly, just thinking about maintaining that level of enthusiasm is making me exhausted. Anyway, Gon enjoys fishing, arm wrestling and playing trading card games. Now, I must explain that Gon himself doesn't actually have any money. His dad wanted to teach him how to be self-sufficient, so he refuses to give Gon a dime. Gon earns some money by catching fish and selling it to the local fish markets, and also does some amateur arm wrestling contests, and is actually pretty good. He earns enough money to pay for his card games and food by doing it. But there is one more thing. This kid Gon hates animals. I mean, he truly hates animals. I've never seen anything like it in an anime before. He chains them up. He scares them. He chokes them. This kid is crazy. He hits birds. He ties strings to butterflies so they can't fly. Gon is a lunatic. Okay, now that we have that out of the way, we can continue with the story. Okay, so one day Gon is doing some arm wrestling and this girl appears and challenges him. And she is incredibly strong. So Gon asks, "How are you so strong?" And she says, "I'm a hunter." And Gon is like, "Wow, I wonder what a hunter is. They are so strong." So Gon goes to his mother's house, who is broke because her husband didn't share his money with her. Gon asks if she knows what a hunter is. And she says, "Girlfriend, let's dish." So they go inside and she tells him all about how his dad was a mighty hunter and he was one of the strongest in the world. He got so strong by giving himself ridiculous limitations to overcome. His limitation was he promised that he would explore the world without ever touching the ground. This way, he would have to come up with creative solutions to get where he wanted to be and bend the world to his will. And from the looks of it, he was right. This guy is crazy strong. I'm not kidding, guys, this anime is bonkers. But I like how ridiculous it is. It keeps things very interesting for me. Anyway, Gon is like, "Wow, why didn't you ever tell me about this?" And she's like, "You were two. What were you going to do with that information? Plus, I haven't seen you since then, because you've been living in your father's castles." So, after hearing that, Gon wants to leave the poverty house, and is like, "Gigi Nori, kai thanks bye." And his mom says, "Come downstairs, I have something for you before you go." And she gives Gon a fishing rod. And Gon is like, "What I'm gonna do with this?" And his mom says, "It's the only thing I got in the divorce, take it out of my sight." So Gon decides to call his friend Killua and tells him all about hunters. Killua is like, "What are you, a noob? Everyone knows about hunters." Killua says, "Okay, we can try to become hunters, but I'm not going to do any of that limitation BS." Killua thinks that if he can become a hunter, then he can get sponsors for his skateboard brand. He's a pretty good skateboarder and is trying to go pro, but he is not popular enough to get sponsorships, so becoming a hunter is a great way to do this. Gon asks if they should bring Leorio, and Killua says, "Okay, we can all try to become hunters." So Killua calls Leorio and asks if he wants to become a hunter. And Leorio says, "I'm literally sitting here watching Miami Vice reruns, let's do this." So Gon and Killua agree to meet up, but first he must pick up Leorio. So he leaves the poverty princess as fast as possible and sets on about his quest to become a hunter. So, upon arriving at the docks, they realize they forgot to set a time and place to meet. I mean, come on guys. You both have cell phones. Let's not be stupid. After wandering around for a few hours, Leorio spots Gon and they start heading over to the ship. And apparently, if you are taking the hunter exam, it's free to get on the ship. I wonder how much money the captain has lost due to scammers who aren't taking the exam. Okay, so they get on the ship and they meet another guy named Kurapika who is also trying to be a hunter, but he doesn't know where he's supposed to go. They say that he can travel with them to the exam area. But a sea storm comes upon them very quick. And when I say storm, I mean good God, it's like Poseidon's fury was focused entirely on this ship. I mean, look at this. The boat is literally airborne. During the storm, lightning strikes the mast and ruins it. And some crazy fool decides that he's going to take a single piece of wood, which can take maybe 8 pounds of pressure, climb to the top of the mast, and that's going to fix it. Brilliant. So the captain is yelling at the guy for being so stupid, and everyone is in shock about how stupid he is. And to the surprise of no one, disaster happens and he falls. So now everyone has to risk their life to save him because he decided to be stupid. So they form an impromptu human ladder with no planning or coordination whatsoever in the soaking wet rain. Thank God Kurapika has the strength of 10 men, or this would not have worked out so well. Okay, so after all the ocean drama, we finally make it to the exam hall. But the exam hall needs a secret password. Lucky for them, the guy they saved was also going to take the hunter exam and told them the password as thanks. The password is, "Please, may I go to the bathroom? Never mind, I just went on myself, thank you." Which I guess is a pretty good password, since no one is going to say that under normal circumstances. So they get taken to the back room and are thrown into the hunter exam right away. The examiner approaches and tells everyone that they are going to be running for a very long time, but he won't say how long. He says this is an endurance test and to see how long people can go without going to the bathroom. He explains that sometimes when you're on an important mission, you have to hold it for 2 or 3 days sometimes. So Killua shows up all smooth, like he practiced it. And finally, the gang's all here, running in the peace tunnels. Seriously, I can't imagine what this place smells like after decades of hunter exams. So they run for 27 hours, and some people begin losing their minds. I mean, some people really have to go. I don't think I've ever had to go to the bathroom that bad in my life. So, after 27 hours of running, they finally see the exit. And let me tell you, Leorio is about to lose it. Leorio doesn't think he's going to make it, but Kurapika says, "Do you really want to piss yourself in front of Gon and Killua? They will never let you forget that." And that was all the motivation he needed because they finally made it to the exit. The door begins to shut and even people who were inches away didn't make it. The examiner was pretty heartless. He was like, "Too bad, so sad." So now the examiner says, "Good job everyone. You get to rest now in a luxury airship while we take you to the next area." Everyone is just relaxing and enjoying the ride. It's the first time they've had a chance to relax since this all started, so it was actually kind of nice. Everyone is sitting around discussing who is sleeping in which rooms, because there are only 2 beds in each room and only 5 rooms. Now, at this point, I have to tell you about Hisoka. Everyone has their own reasons for becoming a hunter. Some want the fame, some want money or women, or access to places only hunters are allowed to travel to. For example, Leorio is a master safecracker who wants access to rare and hidden safes across the world so he can find ancient treasures and become rich. Hisoka wants to get his name in the Book of Hunters Book of World Records, and as the title suggests, only hunters can get in there. Hisoka has been going around the world building houses of cards in every room he's gone into without them falling. He's almost at 1 million. He has 1 more to go. While the record is impressive, it doesn't count for the book until he has a hunter's license. And just as Hisoka finishes his 1,000,000th house, Leorio sits down too hard and makes it crash. And just like that, Hisoka swears to execute Leorio, so they get dropped off at the second exam area, which is a swamp, and you have to figure out where the exit is in the fog. Kurapika and Leorio are concerned because Hisoka is chasing after them looking mighty hungry. Hisoka isn't even hiding it, he wants it bad, man. Gon and Killua are taking bets to see if Leorio dies today, because there is nothing they can do about it, so why not? Leorio says he's tired of running out of fear and stands his ground. He apologizes to Hisoka for knocking down his cards, and if that isn't good enough, he can fight him. Hisoka says, "I choose fight," and Leorio was like, "Okay, Burger King, have it your way." And before Leorio could regret his decision, he was beaten. Hisoka says, "I'm going to take your family to the zoo. You know, make a day of it. Then I'm going to take them to a fancy restaurant in the evening. Then I'm going to murder them in front of everyone. And I'll get away with it because I'll be a hunter." And Gon says, "Leave him alone, or else." And Hisoka says, "Or else what, you little leprechaun?" And Leorio once again tries to be the hero and is immediately defeated. I mean, he is out cold this time. Embarrassing. In a desperate move, Gon says that if you stop trying to hurt us, I will make a promise to never set foot on the ground again. Hisoka was like, "Nani? For realsies?" And Gon was like, "For realsies. I need some time to prepare, but yes, I want to touch the ground again." Hisoka says, "Okay, this is so ridiculous, you caught me off guard. I'm gonna carry your friend to the exit so you can see what your future looks like. Everyone carrying you around and you being a burden to them." And Hisoka is like, "Bye! Stole your friend!" as he runs into the fog. So everyone makes it to the third exam area, which is a memory game. The examiner says, "This is a test of your memory. I'm going to lay out some cards. These are the people who have been doing the hunter exam with you. Point to one and tell me if you can remember their name." And Hisoka is like, "I've been so focused on my hatred, I haven't been paying attention to anyone else. But I think this is Killua." And Jerusalem Jones says, "This is Kurapika, I think. Am I right? Yes? No?" And Hanzo says, "Pretty sure that's Hisoka. He smells like fried chicken and Pert Plus." And Killua says, "That's Jerusalem Jones. No mistaking it." And the examiner says, "Okay, you all passed the hunter exam. You're all hunters now." So now there is a presentation about how to use your hunter's license, which literally no one showed up for. But he has to do it to get paid. So now that the exam is over, Kurapika says, "Okay guys, I have a lot to tell you, so buckle up. My reason for becoming a hunter was because I am looking for some criminals. You see, I am actually from space. I am what you would call a space ranger." And Gon is like, "No way, no way, no way." Kurapika tells them about their home planet of Talos 9 and how it is a radiated world. There are criminals from Talos 9 who fled to Earth to escape justice, so I am here to capture them. One of them stole an object worth more than the worth of the Earth itself. And oh yeah, I also have superpowers too." He says, "My powers have to do with chains. I use the power of these space chains to help me imprison criminals so I can bring them to justice. No one can escape the chains of justice." Then he tells everyone about some of the fierce space battles he has fought with some of these criminals. It's actually really impressive. Kurapika is really strong. He explains that after he captures the criminals, he takes them to a cosmic prison where the criminals are thrown into an abyss filled with chains. And depending on the seriousness of their crime, they could spend 100 years or thousands of years in there. You don't age in the abyss. Kurapika says, "Do you understand so far?" And Gon is like, "Hell yes." And Kurapika is like, "Good. Here's why I'm telling you. When I came to Earth, I found out about something that I seem to be powerless against." "What is it?" Gon says. Kurapika says, "I think you call them insects." And Leorio says, "Okay, I'm done. Get out." Kurapika explains, "I can fight criminals all day long, but we don't have anything like spiders in space. Just thinking about them makes me want to pass out. It's too much. I can't take it. So many legs, flying and buzzing. No, no, make it stop. God, please make it stop." And they are like, "Why are you telling us all of these?" And Kurapika says, "Because I want to make you guys space rangers to help me while I'm on Earth." And Gon says, I am so down. I pledge my life to the Space Rangers. In brightest day, in blackest night. Kurapika says, what are you doing? No evil shall escape my sight. Stop! There's no oath. You don't have to do that. So, what do you think, Gon? Are you ready to become a Space Ranger? And Gon says, I have literally never been more ready for anything in my entire life. Then Kurapika says, okay good, then it's time for the test of bravery. These tests are very dangerous and you could die, but I need to know that you are serious. So Kurapika takes them to the Cliffs of Doom for the tests of bravery. For the first test of bravery, they will jump into a pit and grab onto spider silk without falling into the waters below. Waters full of ninja sharks, for real. Like, actually. The next test of bravery has them running across the bridge of death. If they lose their nerve and fall, they fall into a pit of wizard scorpions. And Gon is like, man, this is easy. Ain't nothing to this, I'll see you at the next test. So they all cross to the next test, which has them running down a hall with an Indiana Jones-style boulder rolling after them, which is absolutely fatal if it hits them. After that, the crushing walls of chaos. Then, the lasers of lunacy. Honestly, this goes on for a while. 37 tests later, they get to the secret lair. The secret lair of the Space Rangers. Kurapika tells them to put on the bracelets and press the button, and the bracelets will fuse with their DNA and activate their powers. But their powers won't fully work for a while, so be patient. So right away, Gon and Killua start to feel the effects, and they begin surging with Space Ranger power. But Kurapika warns them to not use their powers until they have had time for their body to adjust, or they could overwhelm it and they will die. So after that, Gon says he only has a year to have a normal life before he has to keep his promise to never set foot on the ground again, so he wants to spend some time having fun with Killua. So they start traveling around the world, going to flea markets and exploring, playing some anime knockoff PlayStation, teaching Killua how to fish on some boats, and just generally exploring the world. Honestly, I think this part is kind of cool because it allows them to be kids for a bit. And it allows the anime to breathe and let the world that they live in sink in. Gon is just trying to have fun while he can before his life changes forever. So one day when they are out exploring, they are approached by some kidnappers who attack them. The kidnappers are like, I hear you've been doing arm wrestling on these streets without our permission. That is no bueno. The boss wants to see you, so come with us or else. So they drive Gon and Killua to their super secret hideout in a forgotten city, and they take them inside to meet the boss. And all Gon and Killua can think is, wow, these guys take arm wrestling really seriously. So they meet the boss, and the boss says, no one is allowed to arm wrestle on our territory but us. We control all arm wrestling on this turf. And Gon is like, you don't tell me what to do, I do what I want. Gon immediately regrets his decision. The boss says, I want to see how tough you are, since you've been doing business on our territory, and he forces him to arm wrestle. Gon is losing on purpose because he doesn't want any trouble and he just wants to get out of there, but the guy keeps forcing him to arm wrestle until his hands get bloody. After a while of this, Gon decides that he can't take it anymore. He starts getting really angry, and then his Space Ranger powers start kicking in and he defeats the boss soundly. Like, it wasn't even a challenge. He almost breaks the boss's arm off in front of his whole crew, embarrassing him in front of everyone. I mean, that's just embarrassing, to kidnap this kid, then force him into an arm wrestling match, then lose in front of your entire crew, and if that's not bad enough, the boss starts crying. I'm talking about that ugly crying, like break up with your first girlfriend type of crying. And Gon is like, see you sucker, it's rough on these streets, get a helmet, and then they leave. Okay, so now that Gon and Killua are free from the arm wrestling kidnappers, Killua says, well, there is still some time left before you have to practice for keeping off the ground. What do you want to do? Maybe go to the casino and try to win lots of money, go to SeaWorld and punch a dolphin, or just kick a parrot at a pet store. It's up to you, whatever you want to do. And Gon says, about 50 miles behind us is a town where everyone cosplays and stays in character. It's a whole trading card game town. Killua says, okay, that sounds amazing, but we will need some supplies, so let's go get some money. So then Killua, who has a bit of a gambling problem, has the idea to rack up some fat stacks at the casino. Obviously, since Gon and Killua are children, the casino tries to stop them, but he shows them their hunter card. Then suddenly the rules don't apply to them. They can do whatever they want as hunters. So Killua starts doing his gambling thing, and he is on a winning streak. I mean, this guy is on fire, man. And this girl starts noticing he's winning a lot. So she decides she's going to follow him around and start hitting on him to try and get some of those winnings. Of course, Killua, who is completely oblivious to this since he's completely in the zone, plus he's just a kid. So she continues to follow him around from machine to machine, watching his every move. Then she says, "Wow, you're good luck. What are you going to play next so I can watch?" Then Killua says, "Actually, we have to go. We are going to a cosplay town where people play trading card games." And she's like, "Oh, I've always wanted to go to Card Town. Can I pretty please go with you?" And Gon says, "Sure, you can come. The more the merrier." So Gon, Killua, and Scammer Girl run halfway across the country to Card Town. All of a sudden, Killua dips out and says, "I gotta go to the bathroom." So after a while of running cross-country, they finally see the castle, and they know they have arrived at Card Town. So everyone in this town is playing a massive trading card game. You convert some money into card game money and you buy things in the town with that card money, so if you want food, you must pay with cards. You can also do quests, like finding someone's lost dog, or winning a rock, paper, scissors tournament, or winning a quiz. It's actually a really cool and interesting idea. People come from all over the world to trade rare and valuable cards here. So, while Gon, Killua, and Scammer Girl are having the time of their life in Card Town, as you might expect, there are some players who lie, cheat, and steal from others. I've been to a few card game tournaments myself, and those types of people are everywhere, trying to steal backpacks full of cards and giving you fakes. Terrible people. So they go around to explore and try to trade with people, but the more people they encounter, the more they notice bullies trying to steal from them. These bullies are literally threatening their families or threatening to kill them. It's pretty insane. But Gon and Killua are hunters now, so they aren't about to put up with those shenanigans. Gon just takes the card with lightning speed and says, "Next time I'll keep it for real, and now you owe me 3 times. Once for giving the card back, 2 for sparing your life, and 3 for not embarrassing you in front of everyone." So, now that they have been in the game for a few weeks, they keep hearing about this group of guys who are beating up everyone for cards, much worse than any of the other bullies. And it's making people not want to come to the town and has the entire card game thinking about shutting down because of this violence. So anyway, the leader of this evil group, a guy called Mad Zack, he discovers that Gon has a rare card called Fish Dinner in his card binder. And he wants that card like nobody's business. He swears by all that is holy and unholy that he will get that card from Gon. So, one day, Gon is out by himself going to the bathroom in the woods, and Mad Zack sees him by himself. And he's like, "Hey little boy, would you like to treat me to dinner?" And Gon is like, "I need an adult?" And Mad Zack responds with, "I am an adult. Now little boy, let me see those feet." And Mad Zack immediately charges Gon and starts beating him up. And I mean the kind of beating someone up, like it's not them, but maybe your father that you're actually hitting, like something is going on at home and you have no outlet for your anger. So about this time, Gon is thinking, okay, I might need more than one adult here for this. So while Gon is waiting for adults, Mad Zack can almost taste that fish dinner. Gon begins to fight back, because no bully is going to take his cards if he can help it. Spoiler alert, he can't help it. So Gon is just getting wrecked. Funny thing is, Gon doesn't even know why. He thinks this guy just wants to take him to dinner. He never told him that he wanted his card. Mad Zack is playing Mike Tyson's Punch-Out, and he's like, "Why you make me hit you?" So Gon has had enough. And he says, "Jesus, I'll take you to dinner, holy crap!" And Mad Zack says, "We're going to have a nice fish dinner, and you're going to wear a pretty dress." Then he immediately charges Gon and grabs him. And Gon is like, "Please stop touching me inappropriately." And Mad Zack says, "Okay, from now on, I will only touch you appropriately." And Gon is like, "Okay, I need a room full of adults, like right now." Then he yells, "I don't know you! Let go of my purse!" then kicks him right in the Tommyknockers. While he's recovering from his sack getting kicked, Gon punches the ground and breaks open a trap he made earlier for the bully. So they fall down this hole and do some superhero landings, because anime. This is a hell of a day for Mad Zack. He goes from beating people up to inappropriately touching kids to getting his beanbags smacked to falling down a pit. All within the span of like 5 minutes. So, as the dust clears and Zack is trying to figure out what's going on, all he hears is a voice in the distance. In brightest day, in blackest night, no evil shall escape my sight. Let those who worship evil's might beware my power, Space Ranger's light! And with Space Ranger fury, Gon punches the bully into the next world. People better think twice about trying to steal Gon's trading cards again. So after that, Gon grabs him and drags his ass outside, making sure to take it slow, hitting every sharp and jagged rock and pebble along the way. I mean, I can't exactly feel sorry for the guy. So half a day later, Mad Zack regains consciousness, only to find out that he and his friends have been tied up and made an example of. Gon invokes his Space Ranger power to heal himself and restore all the damage that was done to him. And he does it right in front of the bully as if to show him all your effort was worthless. Gon says, "You guys have been unconscious all day long. Do you want anything to eat or drink?" And Percy says, "I'd really love a Mountain Dew, possibly some pizza rolls if you can get it. Also some Cheetos or cheese puffs. Oh god, I'd really love a turkey sandwich with just a bit of mayo, no lettuce, no tomato, just bread, turkey, cheddar cheese and a bit of mayo. I'd love some ice. Do you have ice? Not for the Mountain Dew, but separate, so I can chew on it. It's hot as hell out here and the sun is directly above me. Also, is there a Taco Bell around here? I'm so hungry, I could really go for a cheesy gordita crunch." It's really sad that they changed the Baja sauce into spicy ranch. The Baja sauce was so good. Why do they always do this? Why do food places always ruin a good thing? Anyway, I'd love a blizzard from Dairy Queen if you can get it. This sun is killing me. Is it too late to ask for Red Lobster? Like, how generous are we being here? You know what would hit the spot right now? A grilled cheese sandwich from Denny's. They use potato bread to make their sandwiches, and trust me, it makes all the difference. And Gon says, "You each get a Snickers bar and some water." So while Mad Zack is laying there thinking about his life, one of his victims approaches him. He looms over Zack ominously. Zack is like, "I need an adult?" And the guy is like, "How's it feel to be touched without consent?" Then walks off. And Zack is like, "So that's what that feels like." So now that the bullies are taken care of, Gon moves to his training for keeping off the ground. Kurapika takes him to a remote island where he can run around and not bother anyone. Kurapika says, "Okay Gon, let's get started. We're going to practice jumping from tree to tree. And oh, by the way, I have a bit of a surprise for you in the morning." And Gon is like, "What's the surprise?" And Kurapika says, "That's for you to find out tomorrow. Don't be impatient." Gon says, "I think I see something up ahead." Kurapika says, "What?" "Look out! Spider!" Then, of course, Kurapika loses his mind, and Gon has to carry him out of the forest and continue his training alone until morning. So, Gon finds a nice tall tree to climb so he can scout out the area and finds a nice place to sleep until the morning comes. As Gon wakes up, he finds that his surprise is that Kurapika hired a few people to help Gon with his training. He hired an expert rock climber who is very good at scaling the sides of buildings and smooth surfaces. He even got the first examiner to help out once he heard about Gon's promise. He says Gon has real potential. Even Leorio is helping out with Gon's training. After about 6 months, Gon is basically a ninja. He also finds time to work on his Space Ranger training. It's important to keep up so your body becomes used to the power. He trains the last few months only on his Ranger training. In fact, he's gotten so good at it that he is basically at one with the power of the Rangers. At this point, if Gon wanted to, he could go out in space and fight crime professionally. So, the year is up and Gon is keeping his promise to never touch the ground again. Gon wanted to make sure that no matter what, he could still enjoy life with his friends. And honestly, Gon thought his life would be over when he made the promise. But the one thing Gon didn't count on was the adventures and new friends he'd make along the way. And he had no idea what a wide world of adventure he opened himself up to when he said those words 1 year ago. Thankfully, he has good friends to share that adventure with. Thank you for watching, and see you next time.
ねえもしもこの世界で君と僕が出会えなかったなら夢を信じることをきっと僕は知らないままでいたんだ Thank you, best of my friend
If you like this video, please like and subscribe, but mostly share it. Please let me know which part you liked in the comments. Let's try to get to 100 subscribers.